Most people recognize Mr. T for rocking the screen in Rocky III and serving as the core of the A-Team. However, the same two productions that launched him to fame also hurt him the most profoundly. Beneath those famous battle sequences lay actual conflicts with 5 fellow actors who transformed every filming location into a war zone. At age 73, he's at last opening up. They disputed his parts, ridiculed his skills, and drove him to the point where studios vowed never to team them up again. And once you learn the identities of these 5 figures, you'll be stunned by the major celebrities concealed in those disputes. Number 1. Sylvester Stallone, the conflict that ignited prior to Rocky III's start. Stallone heads Mr. T's list of dislikes for a single harsh cause. Their initial encounter concluded with Stallone feeling embarrassed and Mr. T sensing disrespect, and they never mended it. As per Leon Spinks's security head that evening, Mr. T didn't merely prevent Stallone from accessing the dressing room in 1978. He glared at him and declared, "You're not authorized. Step aside." Stallone flushed, and Mr. T responded loudly for the whole corridor to overhear. "I don't recognize you." That remark pierced deeply, and matters deteriorated further. When Stallone subsequently hired Mr. T for Rocky III, folks thought they'd reconciled. They hadn't. On the production set, Stallone had discreetly remarked, "He shamed me before. It won't happen twice." That statement defined the whole shoot. From then on, the strain was unavoidable. The initial big argument occurred in a practice session in late 1981. Stallone attempted to tweak Mr. T's strikes, and Mr. T retorted sharply, "Clubber Lang isn't weak. Don't portray me as weak." Stallone tossed aside the gear and left the area. 7 days later, another eruption struck. Stallone demanded reshoots since he believed Mr. T dominated the shot. Mr. T shot back publicly, "Fans love me for being authentic. Don't attempt to diminish me." Stallone paused when Mr. T uttered "diminish me," because it mirrored the precise confidential feedback Stallone had shared the previous day. The true bitterness later burst during the promotional circuit. Journalists overlooked Stallone's detailed breakdowns and repeatedly requested Mr. T to recite his memorable quotes. Stallone's annoyance was so evident that one reporter murmured later, "Jealousy was radiating from him." Ultimately, both realized reconciliation was impossible. By the film's completion, they were finished. No farewell grip, no end-of-shoot picture. They steered clear of one another for years, and Mr. T never referenced Stallone without suggesting he struggled with others succeeding. Number 2. Carl Weathers, the individual who provoked Mr. T's fiercest explosion during filming. Carl Weathers secured his position on Mr. T's dislike roster the instant he confided to others that Mr. T lacked proper boxing knowledge. That lone remark, uttered in the first Rocky III workout meetings, ignited an enduring rage in Mr. T. Weathers possessed legitimate sports background and entered practices anticipating deference. But the friction detonated immediately. While observing Mr. T train, Weathers shook his head and informed the fight planner, "He must practice like an actual boxer. This rough approach won't translate on film." Mr. T overheard, and the atmosphere chilled. Mr. T approached Weathers right after and stated, "You believe I require instruction to appear threatening?" Weathers stood firm. He countered, "This is movie production. It demands skill." From that point, each practice resembled a wordless sparring bout. No protective gear, but both aiming to prevail. The harshest confrontation arose in a key movement planning meeting. Weathers demanded Mr. T adhere to the exact moves Stallone endorsed. Mr. T continued modifying the pace because, as he put it, Clubber doesn't prance like Apollo. Weathers lost patience and shouted from the opposite side, "You'll destroy the rhythm." Mr. T advanced and snarled, "Rhythm won't protect you from a genuine strike." The action crew promptly halted everything. It worsened from there. Weathers griped to Stallone about Mr. T's carelessness, and Mr. T claimed Weathers was fragile and fearful of true force. They dodged glances during shoots, hardly conversed off camera, and declined shared media appearances on the promo trail. Years on, neither issued a public regret or confirmed any mending. Mr. T merely noted once, "Certain guys dislike genuine power, unless it's their own." Number 3. George Peppard, the experienced performer who resented Mr. T rising to prominence. The second George Peppard found out Mr. T earned higher pay than him, the animosity was immediate. Peppard had endured years in the industry, featured in timeless films, collaborated with Audrey Hepburn, and established himself as a true thespian. Then one day, he discovered a past security guard without official education was now the show's main draw for the A-team. Peppard viewed it as a permanent affront. Early indicators emerged in script sessions. Peppard would slam his pages louder each time Mr. T spoke a dialogue clearly designed for B.A. Baracus. Peppard eyed him and grumbled, "This series was meant to be mine." Afterward, the resentment intensified. Peppard amplified the issue by granting a press chat where he labeled Mr. T as mere TV brawn, not a performer, and alleged the program was descending into farce. Mr. T obtained that publication quickly. He stormed across the area like a tempest, aiming directly at Peppard's mobile unit. The ensuing event became the most recounted tale in A-team lore. Mr. T positioned himself by Peppard's entrance and bellowed the statements verbatim, each slur, each dig, for the full staff to witness. Then he roared, "Repeat it directly to me, George." Peppard remained barricaded within. No noise, no response, only quiet. From that moment, they ceased feigning civility. They shot sequences with vacant stares, took separate routes to evade meetings, and declined joint practices unless a filmmaker demanded it. Number 4. James Caan, the performer who doubted Mr. T's abilities. James Caan earned his slot on Mr. T's dislike roster the day he informed set members that Mr. T wasn't performing authentic acting. That one phrase was sufficient to freeze the environment. Caan hailed from traditional training, immersive roles, profound analysis, extensive prep. Mr. T relied on gut feeling, resilience, and unfiltered charisma. To Caan, that equated to inexperience. Their debut conflict arose in a script discussion. Caan halted mid-dialogue, stared at Mr. T, and declared, "You don't develop a role, you merely portray your own self." The group stiffened. Mr. T responded without hesitation. "Viewers tune in for my genuineness. You don't need books to grasp reality." From then, every practice was a showdown. Caan pushed for dissecting intentions. Mr. T pushed for execution. Two opposing philosophies attempting to coexist in one take and stumbling. The actual blast occurred in an intense emotional sequence. Caan remained immersed between shots, striding about, reciting words, inhaling as if the moment was critical. Mr. T observed briefly before announcing audibly for the team, "You behave oddly offset to seem exceptional." Caan turned swiftly and replied, "This is the art. You wouldn't comprehend the art." Throughout the remaining production, they scarcely communicated. They executed their parts accurately but with no faith. No gazes, no connection, no admiration. At Rap, they departed in contrary paths, quite literally. In later years, Mr. T was questioned on his most irritating colleague. He avoided the name but stated, "The guy who believes performing elevates him above others." Number 5. Dirk Benedict, the fellow star Mr. T blamed for covertly guarding his own prominence. Dirk Benedict gained his position on Mr. T's dislike list when Mr. T sensed he was subtly battling for additional camera exposure off-camera. Benedict wasn't aggressive, which heightened the strain. The pivotal moment arrived in a Season 2 writing session where Benedict asked for more role developments. Mr. T caught wind and whispered, "There it is. Someone craves extra time." Benedict truly sought complexity. He'd invested time crafting Face's suave trickster image, and he felt the role merited a true heartfelt progression. But the issue was straightforward. Each second he acquired subtracted from B.A. Baracus, and Mr. T disliked conceding territory. Their first major dispute unfolded while shooting a talk-heavy installment. Benedict had inserted a nuanced soliloquy to reveal Face's fragility. Mr. T entered the setup, scanned the updated pages, and declared outright, "This isn't the Dirk Benedict program." Benedict stayed calm. He didn't argue. He just said, "It's termed acting, T." That subdued manner infuriated Mr. T further. The unspoken conflict persisted for weeks. Benedict proposed concepts to scribes, while Mr. T grumbled that those concepts delayed filming. And whenever Benedict secured an extended focus, Mr. T perceived the team favoring him. The largest confrontation arose in an action sequence. Benedict desired to insert a delicate, heartfelt moment prior to the excitement. Mr. T interrupted his practice and barked, "Viewers crave thrills, not your dramatic interlude." Benedict didn't shout. He simply exited and informed the director, "If he ignores my efforts, I'll ignore his." Thereafter, they were courteous solely during filming. No humor, no glances. In subsequent years, Benedict confessed in a minor chat that collaborating with Mr. T was tough. Mr. T remained silent, and that's how it concluded. So, what's your opinion? Was Mr. T fully justified in stepping away from those conflicts, or were these industry titans simply too arrogant to divide the attention? Share your views below, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.